hope you all are fine. Mm, I just want to narrate few very important points which I personally believe is very important to discuss, very important to understand these points in a little bit depth way, or we should definitely go in little bit in a deep to understand the actual facts behind it. As I mentioned in my last video, that I believe that if a person is surrounded by many friends, by lots of people, lots of persons there, if a person is always love to smile, if a person always love to flaunt that he is a very cool type of person, or he or she is very extrovert and very famous type of person, or or you can see, and you can also notice that a person has a lot of followers in his life, maybe in his social life, or maybe in reality also the person has been surrounded by crowd. That in that time we generally used to think, or we used to feel that a person is really a very cool guy or very famous, or that person has a great market demand, so that so many people used to surround him, and he is so famous that everyone loves to talk to that person, everyone loves to follow that person. This kind of conception we have, and I think this is the greatest misconception. As I also mentioned in my earlier video, in my last video, if you notice that a person has been surrounded by many people, many friends, many followers, then you should understand that the person is the most loneliest person. When the person always used to flaunt that he has no problem in his life, or he is a very cool type of person and he can deal with every situations, or he or she always used to smile, then you should understand that something is going behind it. Something is going behind it which we can't see, which we can't understand, or which that person really wants to hide from the crowd. I was saying, I just said in my last video, and I not said, I just believed it by heart, that if anyone is surrounded by so many people every time, anyone is surrounded by the crowd always and very famous, and every time people used to comment on him, and they also give the reply back of that, it doesn't mean that person is very happy inside, or that person has a very peaceful and very happy life. Being popular among the crowd doesn't mean that you are happy, you are a peaceful soul. It doesn't mean that. And it's happened in everywhere in the society. Like if we follow the Bollywood also, there are lots of great actors who committed something which is unbelievable, like Sushant Singh Rajput. We don't know even right now that whether he has been murdered or he had committed suicide. We don't know the fact in reality actually. But even if that person committed something, it doesn't mean that even though that particular actor, and not about that particular actor, there are many of actors like that, or many of the sportsmen, or in every field, that they have lots of followers, they have lots of fans following them, so many well-wishers, so many people are following them. Still they won't find a single person in their life, or they won't able to find a friend with whom they can discuss their problem, because I believe that there is no problem in this earth or in this universe which can't be solved, or which is greater than anyone's life. There is nothing like that. every problem has a solution. If you just think a little bit cool manner of you, or you discussed that issue with someone trustworthy person, with a person whom we can say a true friend, then no problem is such big that for which you have to sacrifice your life, or for which you have to take some steps which is not right. But why this happens? After being so popular, after surrounded by so many people, why some of the people are still alone? Surrounding by many people, or it doesn't seem that you have lots of friends. What I have discussed in my last video, if you are surrounded by many of friends, it doesn't seem that you have a true friend. If you have a true friend in your life, then you need not to surround yourself with the crowd. I always believe that, and I also said in my last video, when a person always used to be surrounded by many of the people, it seems that that person is the loneliest person in this earth, and that person cried, with himself or herself, and always used to give a fake smile to the world, and always used to pretend to others that he had or she had no problem, she has no problem in her life. That's because to make himself busy, or to make him happy, to distract his mind, that person used to get surrounded by many of the people most of the time. Because if you are happy inside, or if you are peaceful inside, or if you have one or two person in your life with whom you can discuss your problems, with whom you can share your topmost difficulties or topmost disturbing factors, because it's true that in every person's life, everyone's life, there are some of the issues always going on which make that person disturbed, or which creates some disturbance in his or her mind, or in her life. Always life is not stable, life is not smooth way, it's disturbing. There are lots of issues in our life which always goes on with our life, but that's why we need at least one or two genuine friends with whom we can discuss our these difficulties, or we can discuss our these kind of issues, so that we can be peaceful, we can have a peace in our mind. I used to say in Bengali that Moner Manush. Yes, there should be one Moner Manush in everyone's life, at least one Moner Manush in everyone's life. Doesn't matter in which gender that Moner Manush belongs from, but you should have that one person in your life, at least one person. If you have more than one person or two, it means that soul friends, which I can say in English. If I want to convert it, Moner Manush, then it is called soul friend. If you have at least one or two soul friends in your life, you need not to surround yourself with so many people. You need not to waste your time in the midst of the crowd, because when people are always surrounded by crowd, or always surrounded by many of the people, then I personally believe that they are wasting their time. Because from where you can't gain anything, from where you can't achieve anything, it's wasting of time. It's better to waste your time in the midst of the crowd, just to spend some quality time with your Moner Manush, with your soul friends. So always try to concentrate to have at least one or two Moner Manush, soul friends, instead of wasting time in the midst of the crowd and always pretending that you're the coolest guy, or you're the coolest, whatever it is, coolest person in this universe. Because how much you pretend, you know that you are not coolest person. Because if you're the coolest person, then you need not to surround yourself with the crowd. So I always, as I told earlier, that I made videos, I made content on those factors, on those important aspects of life which I feel is very much important to discuss, because these lessons are very much needed to my son also, because he is growing up now. He is just 10 years old, but as he grown up, he has to face lots of difficulties in life. He has to face many of the issues on which he can't get any guidance from the school, or on which he can't get any guidance from his friends also. At least that time also, if definitely I am always with you, but if we don't know about future, but still I just want to make these videos that when he will gone through with this kind of issues in his life, at least he can get some good advice by watching these videos. I love to hear this kind of this is the advantage of staying in ground floor. So I feel that it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't happen actually, because any step, when any person took any step which shouldn't be taken, that step not only affects that person's life, that step affects many of the people with whom that person has been related. It shouldn't be like that, and it's always forbidden. So why this happens, that's very much important to understand why this happens. Because if you go through that particular incidents, if you go through that, as I said earlier, that I love human psychology, I love to study human psychology. So whenever any kind of any kind of news I came to know, which make me little bit to think, which forced me to think, and I always try to capture those thoughts actually. It's not only about capturing moments through the camera, through the lenses. It's not only to capture the beautiful images. The camera should be more than capturing thoughts, capturing ideas, capturing your mindset. That is, I think, the most important thing. So I thought that it's better if any kind of these things are happening in our society, why this is happening, what are the root cause behind it, what are the mindset behind it, and how we can stop happening of this kind of things, or at least we can pass on some great messages, or we can pass on some of the solution to our next generation. That's very much important. So I personally believe that never go through the popularity. Being popular is not the parameter of success, or to check that whether I have market demand or not, whether I am still demanding or not, whether I am the heartthrob of people's life. This is not the ultimate motto of our life. The ultimate motto of our life, to live a happy life, to live a peaceful life, to spread the happiness to our loved ones, and to live a life with full of happiness, satisfaction, gratitude, and with love, with our loved ones, with our friends, with our family, and with our own selves first of all. So this is all for today. Take care of you. Love you all. Be blessed, be happy, and be positive. Bye-bye.